Hey everybody, it's Jamie Casarda here, your holistic pet mentor. And what that means is that I get to help pet parents take care of their pets more naturally. And I do pet food recommendations and holistic healthcare options. I help teach you about that and connect you with the resources. And I do lots of continuing education on holistic healthcare, more than I ever did as a veterinary technician in medicine and techniques. But I totally am obsessed with natural healthcare, and I love sharing that with all of you. I also have become very good with essential oils over the last 5 years, and I help people use essential oils safely and effectively with your pets. All right, so that's what that means to you. And today I want to share something that's extremely important and something that I'm super excited about, and that is bacteria. Okay, so this is really important information. I want to stress that. Please listen up, get your pen and paper and take notes, because this information is super valuable, and it really does explain why I do what I do, and why we want to take a more holistic approach when we take care of ourselves and when we take care of our pets. And when I say bacteria, there's this thing called the microbiome. And this isn't just information that I am making up. This has been researched and studies, and when you look this up, you Google it, you're going to see umpteen billion research papers about beneficial bacteria and what that means to our bodies and what that means for our pets. And so basically all of the recommendations that I make are considering those bacteria, taking them into consideration when we make choices for our health or when we make choices for our pet's health. We should be thinking of them first. Why? You know, what are these what is this microbiome? What is it comprised of? So the microbiome is this community of bacteria, viruses, protozoa, and fungi that live in a nice community in our bodies and in our pets' bodies. In fact, there's so much of them compared to our human cells. There's about 10 of them to every human cell that we have in our body. And to just put this in another perspective for you is, if we took all of the microbiome from our body and weighed it, it would be approximately 4 to 6 pounds. Pretty important, right? So if we have 10 bacteria-like organisms for every human cell or every pet cell, because this also applies to our pets, all of our pets, then when we do things for our body, what we eat, what we put on our skin, whether we're going to take medications, anything that we're using, we have to think about, how is that going to affect the bacteria in my body? Okay, that's how important it is. Because when we do that and we keep that community healthy and functioning well, guess what the result is? Our body is healthy and functioning well. And that's what we want for our pets too. So I have to put this in terms of for humans, because it also relates to us and it relates to our pets. So I want to make sure that you understand that this information is not only good for thinking about how we take care of our pets, but it's good for how we take care of ourselves as well. And so it'll make sense, all of the recommendations that I've made over the last few years on this Facebook page, or that you see on my website, holisticpetmentor.com, or if you've ever had a pet care session with me, you'll notice that the recommendations that I make are all healthy bacteria friendly or promoting it in some way. And there's a very good reason for that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for the smiles and the hearts and all of that. So, all right. So let me make sure I cover everything. I went ahead and dived into it, and I have pages of notes that I try to sum up everything in a way that gives you a new perspective on why we take a holistic approach with our pet care. So something that I thought was really interesting, and this came from the University of Washington Center for Ecogenetic and Environmental Health. They state that the number of genes in one person's microbiome is 200 times the number of genes in the human genome. So to say that bacteria run the show in our body is an understatement. They totally run the show. Their genetics, their genes tell our body what to do. And we need to be very aware of that, because when you see your pet coming down with health issues or allergies, any kind of inflammatory response, when you see that they have arthritis or skin issues or ear issues, or maybe they're developing diabetes or Cushing's disease, any of these can very much relate back to what's going on with their microbiome. All right. And so that's why when we feed them a certain way, or we give them things that support gut health, we see an overall improvement. No matter what their health issue is, we'll see an improvement. So recommendations that I make can go all across the board for every type of thing that you're trying to promote in your pet. So that's why I want to talk about this a little bit more. So all right, what does the microbiome do in our body? Just for instance, they help digest our food. That's a simple one. So you need them to break down your food and be able to absorb it. They help regulate our immune system. Those good guys block the effects of the harmful bacteria. And they produce vitamins such as vitamin B12, thiamine, riboflavin, and vitamin K. They also play a role in our healthy hormone regulation and metabolic processes. So our microbiome can actually determine whether we are lean or obese. Okay, so very important stuff, right? Just keep that in mind with all the decisions that we make. All right, so when the microbiome is unstable or has been decimated by antibiotics, medications, glyphosate from our food, which is really high in dry kibble, by the way, and other chemicals that kill healthy microbes, you have autoimmune disorders that occur. And this is now scientifically proven. This isn't just a guess. They know for sure that this is happening, and it really does take a while for our practitioners to catch up with this information, because it's not something that they're learning yet, hopefully soon, foundationally in college curriculum. But I'm fairly certain this is something that they can find as a continuing education thing, as part of their continuing education credits, but you have to seek it. And I've been to many continuing education seminars as a veterinary technician, and every time we would go to a conference, there would be so many options on what to choose. What was I going to learn about while I was at that conference? And so you really have to pick and choose. And so some veterinarians and some even the human health practitioners may not even be, this may not even be on their radar. So it's important for us it starts with us. It starts with us learning about it and bringing this information with us when we talk to our veterinarians or when we talk to our human health practitioners, and let them know that this is something we want to consider with everything that we do, every medication that we take. How is this going to affect the bacteria in my body? What should I be doing, eating, supplementing with to make sure that I don't cause a huge amount of disruption? Or is this antibiotic absolutely necessary? Is there a possibility that I can take care of this without taking an antibiotic? We want to ask these questions all of the time, especially with our pets. All right. Okay, so let me make sure I cover all the basics so you guys understand. So think of how this relates to our pets when we think about our microbiome. What are we feeding them? We want to take this into consideration. So dry kibble disrupts the healthy microbiome because of what's in it. It's high carbs. Most dry kibble is going to be high carbs, high grains. These things lead to turns into sugar, right? And so sugar will feed the bad bacteria in the body and does not promote the healthy bacteria, and it'll allow the unwanted pathogens to take hold, especially yeast. And that is something that I've seen commonly, that I know a lot of people deal with when taking care of their pets, is that they see skin issues or stinky ears. Hi, Brandy. Or they see itchy skin, bad breath, obesity, these type of things. This is all very much related to what we are feeding our pets and whether it's promoting the good bacteria in their body. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for being here. Let's also think about the vaccines that we're giving our pets. One of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of over vaccinating pets. As you can see, I'm not a fan of that at all. And that is because of the disruption that it does to the microbiome and the type of things that are in the vaccines. If we could make vaccines much safer and more natural in how we introduce them to our pets, we could reduce a lot of the chronic health issues that are going on with our pets. So we want to just be more aware of how those vaccines are affecting the good bacteria, and if that could actually be, it's temporarily helping us with those acute diseases, but what about the long-term chronic health issues that are resulting from us damaging the microbiome and introducing these adjuvants that are toxic into our pets? Same with using the pesticide products on top of our pets when we're using those monthly pesticides to prevent fleas and ticks, or if we're giving them a heartworm preventative, that is a monthly pesticide that you're introducing to your pet. Those things are going to disrupt the microbiome. The household cleaners that we're using around our pets, or the type of sprays, Lysol, Clorox, the things that we're washing their bedding with, the detergents, the laundry detergents, what kind of chemicals are in those that could be harming the good bacteria in your pet's bodies? All right, so all of that also contributes to unhealthy chemical burden on their bodies as well, and could cause their filtering organs not to work as effectively or as efficiently as we need them to, so that they can stay healthy and live a disease-free life. So that's what we want to promote here, as a healthy pet. So let's think about our pet care. What should we be thinking of? We should be thinking of everything that we do is going to affect their microbiome. So another reason why I'm such a advocate of essential oil use is because we know that essential oils are very cell specific. So they are unlikely to harm the microbiome, and they are likely to support the immune system and only go after bad pathogens. We also see this with certain species of bacteria that are antibiotic resistant, but they don't cause any harm to the body. And there's a specific type of yeast that I'm going to recommend for both you and your pets that that is going to be a really good idea for all of us to be taking in. And I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's called Saccharomyces boulardii. And this fungi is amazing. It actually promotes a healthy culture, a healthy community in your gut per se. It's well studied, well known, and if your pet has issues with diarrhea, this is one that would be highly recommended to help get things back in balance. And it's often not looked at by our traditional veterinarians, but it's actually something very simple that we can make sure that our pet's getting to help them with a healthy digestive tract. So when I read this about the Saccharomyces boulardii, I was wishing I would have had this information years ago. And when I think about my experience working at the animal shelter and the amount of antibiotics that we had gone through to try to help promote health in the animals there that were coming in sick, we probably were doing more of a disservice to them long term. And this information is so important. I think that rescues, shelters, boarding facilities, veterinarians need to know this too, that the antibiotics are not always the answer. If there's a way that we can get around that, such as diffusing essential oils in a room that has sick animals, and seeing if that's going to be enough to support their immune system in a way that we don't need to go in and kill all of the bacteria in their body. And if we are going to give them an antibiotic, then we need to consider what can we give with that antibiotic to help protect the good bacteria in the body. And so Saccharomyces boulardii is one of those microbiome friendly fungi that we can give in conjunction with an antibiotic to help protect the good bacteria and foster a good environment for the beneficial microbes. So there are some brands I'm going to check out, and after I review them and try them for myself, I'll be sure to share those with all of you and let you know if they seem to have a really good effect. I have some clients that have pets with yeasty skin issues that we're going to try this with, and I would love to share the results with all of you. So I hope that helps. All right, so I want to give you guys some additional tips when it comes to, just to sum this all up and not to keep it super long, but to give you some additional tips on how we can promote a healthy gut environment to promote these great microbes that are running the show in our bodies and in our pets' bodies. So first thing with our pets is we need to remove the grains from their diet. And I'm not just talking about grain-free kibble. We need to pretty much remove kibble if at all possible. And if you're going to feed a dry kibble, then you also need to give your pets a probiotic supplement or give them probiotic foods like coconut kefir, raw fermented goat's milk. What else? Digestive enzymes, right? We need to get some digestive enzymes since they're not getting fresh food that has live enzymes in them. You're going to have to add digestive enzymes into their diet. And if you need a recommendation, just send me a private message. Also, we need to look at, let's see, fermented veggies. Oh, bone broth. Giving your pets bone broth. So instead of waiting until they're sick to do these things for them, these are good things to be doing preventatively, proactively, to support a healthy gut, to support that great environment for the good bacteria, the good microbes to proliferate. So why would we give bone broth? Well, I've talked about this before. It's very soothing to the gut lining. It has collagen in it, and collagen is very helpful in healing the gut. We also like that the glucosamine chondroitin, the natural properties of that. We want to make sure that our pets are getting some sort of supplementation either through their diet with, maybe turkey necks or, chicken necks, bone broth, any way that we can support that they're getting good collagen and glucosamine and chondroitin in their diet, or you could do a high quality supplement. Other things we need to consider for a healthy gut is the omega-3s. Okay, our pets don't get enough of those. So we typically think of fish when we want to do omega-3s. However, there are some issues with our fish now, thanks to us humans. We do have the issue of heavy metals and mercury in our fish. So other ways that we can get those omega-3s into our pet's diet is marine phytoplankton. And that's a great way to do that. It comes in a dried powder, and it does actually smell very fishy. It's what gives fish their great omega oil, okay? Coconut oil is another thing to introduce to your pet. It's great for their gut, and it has the good fatty acids in it. Hemp oils or hemp seeds. I like doing ground flaxseed. You can also do things like purple cabbage or cabbage in general. Fermented cabbage is even better because there's vitamins in the purple cabbage that promote good intestinal health, and you can actually drink that juice to help your gut heal itself. And I've seen this in several documentaries, so pretty confident that it works. So I do a lot of cabbage myself. I like to saute it up and add a little bit of sea salt. Pink Himalayan sea salt has some natural iodine in it, so that's really good for our thyroid as well. And it's a great prebiotic fiber for the bacteria in our gut. So eating more prebiotic foods is a good idea as well. And things like bananas and sweet potato are great prebiotics. Asparagus, any kind of root vegetable, with the exception of white potatoes, because white potatoes turn to sugar very, very quickly, and they don't have a lot of the good vitamins that we need. You can get more from sweet potato. So that is something we can also feed our dogs as well. So, all right, is there anything that I missed? No, okay, I went over as much as I could within a 20-minute time frame. I hope this all helps you guys. This is like a very speedy version of why the microbiome is so important. Why should we be considering this before anything else when we take care of our health? And I really hope that it helps you support your pets in a healthy, holistic way. And feel free to share this information, talk to your vet about it, get it on their radar so they start looking at all the research that is very much available to all of us. Just, you can go to pubmed.gov. There's so much information about the microbiome and how these bacteria play a role in our health, and how, you know, going natural with how we care for ourselves is truly the long-term answer on overall health and wellness and survival of our species and survival of our pets, and so that we don't have these pets continuing going down the road of inflammation and chronic health disease. So, all right, good luck, everybody. And if you have any questions or would like to book a consult with me, I have a Book Now button on the top of this page. You can also visit my website, holisticpetmentor.com, and get more information there. And thank you all for tuning in. All right, take care. Bye.